Hello everyone and welcome back to another numismatic history video. In today's video we're going to be checking out the new releases of the Semiquincentennial designs for the circulating coins, so let's jump into it. Alright guys, so last night they released the new designs for the circulating coins for the Semiquincentennial. The Semiquincentennial is the 250th anniversary of the United States being the United States instead of just like the 13 colonies before that. So I just thought I would show you guys what those new designs are and we can talk about them a little bit. So we have here, again, this is just going over the circulating designs, but there is a new dime design and then 5 new quarters and a new $half design. And then there's also, they have for the nickel and the penny, they're just the normal design, but they have 1776 to 2026 on them instead of just 2026 as the date. There will be pennies, but they're mainly just going to be for collectors, just kind of like how $half are. They're going to be minted in sets and sold by the mint, but not released for circulation. I think that's the plan at least. But anyways, guys, to start things off, we have the Liberty Dime, the emerging Liberty Dime with Lady Liberty here. And it has that, again, all of these will have that 1776 to 2026 on them. And kind of just a normal design there with that Lady Liberty on the front. I think it's a really beautiful Lady Liberty design. I don't think Lady Liberty's been on the dime since, well, I mean, it hasn't been on the dime since the Mercury dime or the Liberty dime, which I think the last vintage for that was 1945. So it's been Roosevelt for a long time, and this is the first time that it's been changed since then. So that's pretty cool. And then on the reverse here we have this nice eagle here, and it says United States of America as normal, e pluribus unum, 1 dime, and then it says liberty over tyranny. So that's kind of interesting. Next then we'll move on to these quarters here. We've got the Mayflower compact quarter here. So it's got some pilgrims on it, and then we've got the Mayflower on the reverse there. So it's a pretty cool design, and you can kind of see they've put on where the mint marks will be on these as well, so you can see that as well. This next one we have the Revolutionary War quarter, which this one has for the obverse, it has the design that's from the dollar coin. I think there's the 2007 dollar coin that has George Washington on it. I believe it's the same exact design that's on that dollar for that obverse of George Washington, at least. The rest of the coin is a little bit different. And of course it's a quarter, so it's slightly different size, and it's got a reeded edge instead of that flat edge with the text on it. And then you can see here for the reverse, we've got kind of a Revolutionary War soldier to honor the Revolutionary War. This next one here, we have the Declaration of Independence quarter, which I believe this is Thomas Jefferson. I can't remember. I think this is Thomas Jefferson. And then we've got the Liberty Bell on the reverse here, so that's pretty cool. And if we scroll down here, we've got the U.S. Constitution quarter, and it has James Madison here on the obverse, so that's pretty cool. And then the last of the quarters is the Gettysburg Address quarter, which we've got Lincoln, which I believe this is a new design. I don't recognize it from any of the other coins. And then you can see on the reverse here, we've got, it says, a new nation conceived in liberty, then the Gettysburg Address. So that's pretty cool. And then I'll scroll down here, we've got the nickel design. So like I said, it's just the same, the Jefferson second portrait design that we have before, but it has this 1776 to 2026 on it instead of just the normal date that would be right here. And then the last one we have, it's labeled under collectible coins because they are not going to be released by the mint. They're going to be NIFC coins. So we have the Enduring Liberty $half, another really big change in design. JFK has been on the $half since 1964, and that hasn't changed until now, so that's pretty cool. It's been JFK for a long time, and I want to restate this as well. I believe all of these designs will be going back to the normal designs in 2027. So I think JFK will return to the $half, and same with Roosevelt for the dime, and Washington for the quarter and everything for that. But anyways, we have for the Enduring Liberty $half, we've got the Statue of Liberty here, and then on the reverse it says, knowledge is the only guardian of true liberty. So that's pretty cool. And then you can see we've got that penny design here as well that just says that 1776 to 2026. And again, that will be just released as collectibles, and it says down here no longer in circulation, but it'll have the same design as previous years. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, guys, I wanted to see if you guys had any comments. What do you guys think about these designs? I think they're pretty cool. My main concern is with the quarters, at least, well, and the dime too. The $50 I'm not as concerned about, but I know that people get confused when the designs get changed too much. This happened a lot with the Susan B dollar, and continues to happen, where people confuse that dollar coin as a quarter because it's a similar size and it has that reeded edge, but I'm not really sure. I'm just thinking, since these quarters don't have Washington's face, that's what most people will look for. All of them do say $quarter or 25 cents on them, but people don't always read, or it might be too small for them to see it. Like some of these designs, it's not easy to see, or it's not always in the same place. So that's my biggest concern, is just that people might get a little confused, but it will only be happening for 1 year too. And if news gets out and people learn about the designs and stuff, then it might not be too big of a problem. But overall, I think that they're pretty cool designs, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down in the comments. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I just thought I would share these with you since they came out yesterday. But if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I try to make videos like this talking about kind of news of US coins and history of different coins and things like that. And like I said, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these. Also, I guess I should say before we go, if you're a multimillionaire and you'd like to bid on the Omega pennies, or the last cents that were minted, I believe that auction is starting at noon Eastern time. But I just thought that was interesting. I'm interested to see how much they end up selling for, because I know the projections for them are really, really high. But it will be interesting to see. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.